Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
All right, y'all, we'd like to welcome y'all with Bar Talk with Jay. Who I got in the building with me? Craftmatic in the building.
What's happening, Smooth Jay?
Man, you just don't understand. I'm very blessed. Highly favored, and again, I'm getting to be in the company with my man, Craftmatic.
Yes, sir, it's showtime again, my friend.
Woo, it's time to get this started. Oh, well, I even say started. Hold on. We missing somebody.
We missing somebody tonight.
We don't got Barbara in the building, y'all.
Hey,
we missing Barbara. Barbara, that holds down Macon, Georgia. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I do a lot of different scenes, and you don't see her.
Yeah.
So again, with her not being in the building, a lot of people don't even recognize. But you know, she's a very important part. She does a lot of different things. It's behind the scene.
Yes.
So we got to give recognition to a lot of people that do a lot of big things for us. My man just holding the camera down. He don't even want me to say anything yet. But y'all need to come out tomorrow night. You know, y'all might want to find out why he's so special, but we're going to bring that up later.
Right.
But again, we got to thank all the people that's got these moving parts. And again, because the fact people got jobs, I can understand they ain't always able to make it. But believe it or not, there's always good reasons why they can't, and they always respectfully call.
You bet.
I likes that.
I likes that.
Except for your girl.
Well,
Your girl.
you know, she run things no matter what, you know.
You know something?
So,
Love always seem to conquer.
It
You know,
does.
you
But
know,
I don't
right.
know what Jay talking about. Ain't no
Right.
love in the house right now.
Okay, it might not be no love, but I'm
We
just saying.
want to thank you all for being with us tonight. This is Bar Talk with Jay, and this is just our opportunity to inspire and to open doorways of people's minds and hearts to greater realities. We're hoping that our stories and our opinions make a difference to you, giving you an opportunity to make better decisions for yourself and for your life and for your future. And in some cases, the words that we share may be an opportunity for you to go and help someone else.
Exactly.
And so don't let this information just be mundane and just, you know, be static. We want it to be dynamic, and we want it to be helpful to people. So we're glad you're here, and we got a dynamic show once again ready for you, on fire tonight. I got my boy, I call him Greasy, but
Oh, Lord.
Right, we got
Greasy in the building.
we got Bernard coming through the house tonight. Dr. Bernard, we call him. He's gonna give us some insight as to our topic. But let's do a quick recap, shall we, Jay?
You know something? It's time for us to go back and find out, is your sale for love?
Is your sale for love?
I'm just saying.
Is your love for sale?
Well, you look at it either way, but it ain't good.
Right.
Right. We kind of dissected this last week, and one of the things I noticed, people ain't being real about themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you might want to really evaluate the situation, because again, if you're going into it for financial gain, that ain't got nothing to do with love at all.
At all.
And a lot of times people fall apart because how they start.
Right.
So again, if it's true love, and again, if it is a financial thing, and that's communicated, it is what it is. And I'm not tripping there.
Right.
But for the ones, there's a lot of people that's being led.
Led.
When I say just led.
As in manipulated?
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they led because of money.
Yeah.
You know, you're flashing, you're showing, you're doing for, but then when it's time for that commitment, you're running off.
Yeah. I've seen a whole lot. We've seen a whole lot of guys with girls, and we wonder like, how in the world? Yeah.
That greenback,
He's spending that money. He's spending that money, and I guess there is a time and a place for it. We're not going to ever stop it. It's just the way the world works. But I think it's important. Well, what I got out of the show, it's important to pay attention to the person that you're dating, and really figure out if they're there for you or if they're there for some other reasons. Unless your love is for sale. Now, if your love is for sale, then I guess at some point you're gonna have to identify your price. But
it's not like some real prostitution type stuff.
Well, no, a lot of times, man, it starts out that way. It always starts out. I said we can't never get away from spending money. If we're gonna date, we're gonna have to buy dinner, and we're gonna have to take movies, and we're gonna have to buy drinks, and all the kind of stuff that goes into it. But there is that side where somebody may need a few things and stuff, and we can take care of. We had the young lady on the show, a couple weeks ago.
She said it.
Side chick.
She said it.
She was a side chick, and she said as long as he was taking care of my other little needs,
She was
I'll
fine
take
with
care
it.
of his needs. And that's not the way to live in this world, and that's not the way to find real love.
So correct. You know something?
What's up, man?
I'm going celibate.
You what?
I'm going celibate.
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Maybe I don't understand the definition of celibate. What is celibate?
I'm gonna break it down.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna sell a little bit. That's my way of going celibate.
Okay.
I'm sell a little bit.
I knew it had to be a catch.
Catch 22 anything, man.
Celibate, Jay.
Yeah.
Celibate? What? I'm having a hard time with monogamous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I'm just saying.
So listen, it was a great show. I think we did it justice.
Yes, we did.
It's not, I mentioned the first thing that we have a tendency to think about, pardon my French, is hoeing. But, we weren't really talking about that. We're just talking about how money flows into gaining favor into people's lives and, potentially sex, potentially just having somebody to take you out to a nice place and buy you an outfit, doing those kind of things. You got to determine what you want. And once you determine what you truly want, then that will determine whether you can be bought or not.
And I like to say, on a side note, when it comes to that, finances does play a huge role in that whole situation. And I really do feel like it's something that needs to be sat down and communicated.
Absolutely.
Because that's another breakdown in a lot of marriages and relationships.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time when you front like you got more to win her over, and then she find out she feel again led.
Right.
And we don't want to deceive anybody, and we really want to build a natural relationship. I like to say that's when we till the ground.
Yeah.
That is nutrient. That is absorbent.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about that thing digging in that dirt. I'm trying to rotate you. That's all that. Tell her. You need to till and rotate and make her whole world turn upside down.
Yeah.
But do it on the real.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you're just playing.
Absolutely.
And I really want to get us away from playing and get people back to loving each other for the true kings and queens that we are.
Absolutely.
And that's where breakdown came from. And I like to get back to the real us.
Absolutely.
Not this little play. And I like to say TV, subliminal messaging, advertising, and the things that we probably got in our water and our food ain't helping.
Yeah.
But if we go back to our beliefs, our spiritual foundation, I really think we'll get past some of the stuff that happened to us and still happen, and we'll become a greater nation.
There you go. And so, folks, please check out the show from last week. You can see it on bartalkwithjay.com. All of the shows are there, and man, we had a superb lineup for the last year. So if you need some entertainment, we got all of it for you with morality and lessons and wisdom and all that other good stuff. Tonight's inspiration is empowerment.
Ooh, yes.
And let's spend a few, meaningful moments on the word empowerment. Now,
Break it down.
the definition of empowerment is the authority or power given to someone to do something. So I can be empowered to get an education.
Okay.
I can be empowered to get a better job. I can be empowered to build a better relationship or a better home, take better care of my children, my family. And, there's so many. Actually, Barbara put together about 8 components. And this exercise is not necessarily for details. We want you folks to kind of, assess how the word fits in your life and what it means in your life. And so, do you feel like you have the power to achieve your next goal? Do you feel empowered to achieve your next goal? Do you think you have access to the right information, the right education, the right monies, the right resources? Are you good at making decisions? Right? Because decisions make all the difference in empowerment.
It does.
Right? So we need to. This word just says to me that we need to step back and analyze what's going on about ourselves and about our lives that keeps us from progressing. Right?
I agree.
And that really ties into tonight's show. How do we deal with obstacles in our life, the obstacles of life, in order to progress? We have to be empowered to progress.
You going in, ain't you?
Man, I mean, think about it, bro. If you don't feel empowered, you're never going to attack the issue that's stopping you from achieving your goal. All you're going to do is sit back and complain and fear and doubt and worry and blame and all of that other good stuff. So let's assess our own hearts and our own inner minds. Let's become empowered to grow. And you become empowered to grow, I think, by just sitting down and taking quiet time. I'll call it my clean sheet of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down and write down those things that are potentially that there are obstacles. I mean, we're going to cover obstacles in a major way, but write down those things that you feel are assets in your life to your empowerment, and then write down the things that you think are hindering you from being empowered. Okay. And let me keep going down this list.
Go ahead.
Positive thinking
Definitely.
is a major factor and a major component to empowerment. You can't live life at all, Jay, without positive thinking.
I'd like to say it wouldn't be a positive life if you did.
It wouldn't be a positive life.
If you, again, and you ride down the train following somebody else, not living within purpose, because that way of living I was kind of seeing, and it's not a very nice life.
Listen, we see a lot of people living that life.
Mm-hmm.
We see many people who seem like they don't have the strength to just hold on to positive thinking, to hold on to hope for tomorrow and promise for tomorrow. So there are many ways to work on positive thinking, and we might need to have a show on just how to improve yourself, Jay.
Okay.
Because I think, we can't even do these justice, but you have to be in a learning mode. You have to be in a growth mode. You need to be reading books. You need to be studying. You need to be around like-minded people who are at least attempting to achieve what you are attempting to achieve.
I agree.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be, an artist or a musician, or if you want to be, a contractor or engineer, then you need to be around those folks, learning the game and understanding what the opportunities are. If you're not growing, you're probably not moving toward being your greatest possibility. Self-image is a major issue. If you look in the mirror and you don't see a whole and complete person, then you need to start there.
Man in the mirror. Alrighty.
And once you feel better about yourself, then you are empowered to move to the next level.
That was a
empowered
good chick.
to go and get Yeah. Man, I don't have no problem with that.
I see.
Yeah, I never have had a problem with self-image. And so I never had to, I have gone through situations that have caused me to have a depleted self-image, my divorce for one. But I had to continue to look in the mirror and say positive things to myself and tell myself that I am whole and complete and that I'm gonna get through this.
There you go.
And of course, she put down morals. If you're not honest, if you're lying and cheating and stealing, you're never gonna be empowered because you create bad karma. What else can we say, man? The process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. It is time, folks, to claim your good. It is time to claim your right to have prosperity and to be happy in your life. These things are not going to happen if you don't feel empowered. If you feel like you're always at bay to the situation or the circumstance or the people, then you're never going to really believe that you can achieve much. And so I think belief system, is at the heart and soul of all of this. The strength of your belief is what determines how much power you can access and how much power you can express for yourself and for your life. So I'm just encouraging everyone to seek empowerment. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos. Go on there and look for some encouraging words. Maybe it's poems. Maybe it's ministry and sermons.
I put some things
Maybe
out
it's Jay puts some things out there almost every day, right? And in order to put positive messages out, you got to be always seeking positive messages. And that's one of the things I like about Jay. He's well studied and he's constantly sending me stuff. I mean, every day I'm getting some new information that might add value to our show, tell me about world events. So, he's already, positive. He's already in growth mode. I mean, he accesses other people's wisdom and talents in order to bring his show together. I mean, you're a perfect example of the word empowerment, Jay.
And celibate.
Well, you was going to make me cuss.
Christian under construction.
Ain't going to be none of that.
It sounded good.
No. So we're just trying to motivate people, man. I mean, that's what this dialogue is really about. Is if you don't stay motivated, then you're already behind the curve. You know, you're going to get out of bed with a bad attitude, and you're not going to follow through on today's planned events. You're going to walk through those meetings and those, interactions with customers and whatever you do for a living. You're going to walk through it in a mundane fashion, and you're not going to believe that it's making a difference to your goals, your family's goals, your life, and everything adds to everything. We can never forget that. So, it's important that you motivate yourself and that you keep yourself empowered to follow your dreams and follow your goals. I mean, what more can we say on this subject?
Not much, man. We're going to go to the break, but I would say empowerment, take ownership.
Okay.
You got to take ownership of your life and what goes on around you.
Right.
And quit blaming. Because, see, to me, when you got your morals, the positive thinking, you can't just be blaming.
Right.
And I hear a lot of blame game going on, but a real person that's going to encourage anybody is going to stop blaming and start helping and seeing where a person's at and seeing what they can do to help them. And that's what we don't see a lot of, but I encourage people to do more of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what, Jay? That's a major point. And we got about 2 minutes here before we go to break, 2-3 minutes. Empowerment really is about what we can do for other people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what this show is all about. There are so many people around you who need to hear encouraging words and who need to see somebody positive at work and at play and etc.
Right.
Somebody who's fun-loving. The world needs to see examples of those kinds of people because those things motivate us and those things empower us. And so I'm just encouraging you to always be that empowerment tool for other people. Right. If you see somebody down, if you see somebody not on top of their game that day, hey, go by and, put your hands on their shoulders and tell them it'll be all right. Get them a gift, maybe buy them lunch or something of that nature. Maybe buy them a card. But spreading the love and spreading the idea of motivation is most certainly an empowerment idea. And we have to encourage one another. If we once upon a time had great leaders.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say that we don't have great leaders anymore, but those leaders seem to stand out because they had such a commitment to empower other people. They had such a commitment in their lives to help the world become their greatest possibility. And we need more of those leaders. We have them. We oftentimes can't see them. If you're not down at the ball field on Tuesday and Wednesday night, you don't see how those coaches and those parents are giving and teaching those young kids, how to stay focused and empowering them, basically, right? So it's happening all around us. We oftentimes can't see it, but in our own world. But motivation is the key. Believing in yourself is the key. And really, life would just be nothing, man, if we don't have, these ideas of motivation and empowerment. We just kind of be living a mundane life. And if you live in a mundane life, it's time to reach. It's time to reach for some empowerment. It's time to reach for some excitement and for some joy in your life. And we know lots of people who are sitting around pouting all the time.
Yes.
They need motivation, and that's what we're here for, to give it to them. So
I tell you what, right before we go to break, because you had a great one, but in the empowerment, we got to say hats off to the veterans.
Absolutely,
again,
Jay.
It's hitting this Saturday, they're honoring it Friday. So again, empower yourself to walk up to a veteran and say thank you.
Yes.
These guys and women have went out there and fought for us. And again, some of them didn't come back whole. We got nothing but love for all of you guys.
Yeah.
I'm tragically
Excellent.
sad for all the ones that came back, not the same, but I would definitely say my hat's off and I love y'all for y'all sacrifice for us to have this American way.
Yes. Yeah.
So
and
I
listen,
definitely got to say.
man, we are so, our whole world is just filled with the fruits of their labor.
They sacrificed a lot.
Yeah, and they sacrificed a lot. And when you see a veteran, this is just one of the things that come to mind in the last minute here before we go to break, is that every time I see a veteran, I think about all of the stories that they could tell.
Mm.
I mean, they've seen some very gruesome things, and they fought, some hard battles in order for us to have the freedoms that we have. And we just can never forget where we come from. We can never forget those people who put us on top. Those people put us on top. And I want to personally thank all of the veterans and their families as well. My hearts go out to you on this holiday season for Veterans Day. I believe the actual holiday is on Saturday.
That is correct.
Is it being observed also on Friday?
Well, it might be Monday, but I know a lot of people like schools are doing it on Friday.
Okay, yeah, I think banks are closed tomorrow as well, which means I need to get there.
Yeah,
right?
I'm about to end the show. Look,
Yeah, I need to get there tonight. Yeah.
You know about that.
So folks, again, we got a live show for you. It's going to be fantastic. We're talking about how do we deal with the obstacles of life in order to progress, and there's a whole lot of content on that one, right?
We just gave a lot of it just there.
We did.
Right there.
We did. That was one portion of it for sure, but we're going to break it down. So you all stay with us. This is Bar Talk with Jay, and we'll be right back after this song.
Smooth, Craftmatic, DJ. Jay, and we got a change to the game. Yeah, Craftmatic ain't gonna like this one. We ain't got TK tonight.
Oh my goodness.
We got Lady J in the building.
Lady J, who is Lady J?
Lady J, we're gonna make a change to the game. Lady J, can you say something? Hello.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
We doing good.
You know, Lady J is my daughter.
Your daughter?
Yeah, change to the game.
Okay,
baby.
okay.
Yeah, you gotta bring. We gotta bring family in when we can.
I like that, Jay. I
Yeah,
like that.
don't
Keep
worry.
it in the family.
TK will be back. I know. Baby,
You got some tissue, man. You got some tissue.
if Craftmatic comes off the wrong way, it's just because he's emotional. But we got you, girl. What you got for us tonight, Lady J? What you got? What you got?
Okay, so my question is, why is it so easy for men to leave a relationship without having no emotional attachment? Like, if you was together with somebody for 10 years and you act like the 10 years was a whole bunch of nothing. Like, how is that easy for you?
Well, you know, the first assumption is that it's easy.
All right, Kraft.
It might not be. It might not be easy. Listen, if you love someone, you care for someone, it cannot be easy to leave them, right? But here's what I think happens, and this is the sum total of the whole story. He fed up long before he gives up,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
He's fed up long before he gives up. That means he probably quit the relationship, or she probably quit the relationship long before they actually left, right? They had already stopped giving, they had already stopped helping, they had already stopped caring, and then it was enough to say, it's time to go. So I don't think that people can leave one another and it be purely unemotional. Men share less emotion. You know, you won't be able to necessarily see a man's emotion because you won't be able to see it in his face or how he acts or how he talks. You may be able to hear it in how he talks if you're listening for that, but most of the time, women aren't necessarily listening for emotion. They're just watching what he does, and you know, you miss some of the good stuff if you just watch what he does. You know,
I tend to agree with you because again, when you say easy, you know something. A lot of times it's your perception. Because when I get to a point where I'm not going to tolerate it no longer, it's going to look like I easily walked away from you. And truthfully, it's like you said, I clocked out a while ago. I was just tolerating it. And then it got to a point I'm not going to tolerate it no longer.
Right.
So to that person, it's like you just being evil and you just don't love me. No, I loved you. I just had to stop putting my feelings and emotions on the line to get hurt when you obviously showed me you don't care.
Okay.
So if I start treating you cold, it's not because I don't love you. It's just I'm trying to pull away from you. And that's what a lot of people are noticing. So you notice, but you're not for sure because I didn't just directly tell you.
Right.
But you hit my ego and you hit vulnerable spots
Below the belt, right.
that I really can't recover from. And a lot of times we don't come straight to the table and have that conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around bitter about our relationship because some of the things that you said to me, and you have no way of healing because I never communicated till it gets to a point where I'm just telling you and I'm telling you off. And I think that right there is a bad sign that a lot of people do, and I really feel like we need to stop, because when you tell somebody off, okay, and you really give them the business, like everybody say,
Right.
okay, there's a lot of things that you pouring out that they're not going to receive very well.
They're not going to receive it the way you are sending it, and you may be sending it in a vulgar way or in a bad
most
way.
of the time,
I guess if you're getting told off, yeah. But you can't recover from that stuff. You know, you can, you know, say you apologize and you can say that all those good things, but, you know, and he may hear it in his head, but he's not going to hear it in his heart, because he's going to know that you meant that. Whatever that is you said, you meant it. It wasn't just an abstract. Did we lose? It wasn't just an abstract thing. One of the big points you just mentioned, Jay, was that there is not enough communication going on in relationships. And oftentimes, particularly men, they just don't feel like they can share the real message and get a real answer. If they share the real message, it's always seemed to be going to be about something else. And you know, women ask a lot of questions, and they want to, you know, they want you to verbalize a lot of things that we oftentimes can't verbalize. It's not to say that those aren't good questions, but you know, sometimes they pull at the heartstrings, or you know, and we can't get the words right, you know. So we refrain from communicating, and that's a big issue. I think both parties have to be willing to listen.
She's getting back.
She coming back. I think both parties have to be willing to listen to one another with non-judgment. You know, we lost our caller, and so she's calling back in. This technology stuff.
I tell you.
Are you with us, caller?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. It happens. It happens. But we were just saying that men and women just don't communicate enough when it comes to disagreements and hardships in a relationship. We typically run from it. We typically, you know, tell our friends and our buddies and our sisters and mamas and cousins, but we never tell each other how we really feel, for fear that being too honest is going to hurt the relationship.
And let alone, Kraft, a lot of times it's just the fear of it make me sound weak.
Yeah.
You know, especially when it comes to men. You know, I'm looking for a man's side. You did something to hurt my ego. You talked about me in a way that I felt like it was kind of disrespectful. And I didn't say anything because, again, a lot of times I don't want to put our business out there. You might have did it, and you didn't know you really did it, but you did it in front of somebody. So you want to get them alone and talk to them. And a lot of times you feel like if I tell her, she gonna think I'm weak. Because what she said hit me to the core, but to her, it didn't mean nothing. But it meant a lot to me.
Absolutely.
So a lot of times we tolerate bad behavior like it's gonna fix itself.
Right. So
So that's why the communication is definitely necessary. Because she might not have wanted to treat you like that. She might not have even wanted to say that or thought you took it that way.
right.
But it wasn't communicated, so guess what? It comes again because you took it so lightly, I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
All these things need to come to the table and be addressed. And that's why a lot of relationships are on a bubble. But I like to say we can recover. If we have the right communication, then guess what? Stop being hard and going off about every small thing and work with some of the small things.
Right.
Hold on now. Call baby girl. I don't know what you're doing over there, but we
Yes,
we
I'm
hear
here.
all that. We hear all that.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm over here cooking. I'm trying to multitask. I'm listening. I got my
we got
feedback.
you.
I know what I want to say to y'all.
We got
Well,
you.
listen, I want to hear what you want to say.
Yeah,
What-
well, give us your feedback while you're over there cooking for the grandkids.
Yeah. You have some
What you got?
feedback for
What
us?
is going on?
That shit in burn.
Huh?
You have some feedback for us?
Yes. Okay, I agree with the whole communication thing because that play a big part in relationships. And I feel like I over communicate. Like I say my piece. If you upset me, I got to tell you about it. I just can't sit well with that.
That's a big one.
And
That's a big
A
one.
lot of people ain't like that.
So I
Yeah.
say what's wrong with me. So other people don't say what's wrong with them.
And so that had to have caused some problems in the past in your relationships. I mean, how did you deal with that?
Well, that's why I don't do relationships now because I've been told too many times I'm too much.
Yeah.
So I'm cool.
Okay. And listen, I do understand that too much attitude. I do. It's kind of overbearing. You know, it can kind of suck some of the life out of the relationship, and really put people on the edge. You know, they don't want to talk to you because you're gonna want to say too much about it, or you're gonna have, your thoughts are gonna be overbearing because you're gonna have 90% of the words on the table, and we might not still be able to even express ourselves, to share those words and how we feel. So I do understand how that can be a problem. Have you made any decisions on how you can or want to change in order to get through a relationship?
Nope.
Nope.
That make Daddy really happy. She ain't got to rush it.
I mean, I don't feel like it's all me. I just feel like I speak my piece and then you like it or you don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't really think I'll be overbearing. It's just like if you ask me what's wrong with me, I'm going to tell you what's wrong.
Okay, and can you handle it when somebody says their piece?
Yeah.
Okay, that's important because
That's
all
fair.
that means is you need to meet a man like you,
Exactly.
right? But I got a feeling that a man like you is gonna be too much for the relationship. Just my feeling.
I don't
You know
think
what I'm
so. It just be that they be a little bit too feminine for me.
Mm.
Like you can't be wanting to try to wear my clothes. No,
Oh
I
my
just can't.
God.
Gut
See?
punch.
Oh man, that was good. You should have said TK on the phone.
Gut punch.
And
See that one coming.
And see, men do not want to be perceived as, feminine, being a bitch, you know what I'm saying, just because we express ourselves, right? And I mean,
No, nothing with expressive. But if you want to talk to me, you cannot be talking about, I think I should wear your stuff. And no. That makes me feel a little like you hitting in the closet.
Hold on, sweetie.
You're dealing with some other issues.
Yeah, who you been there? We gotta take care of this off air.
Yeah, you've been dealing with some other issues.
Real business.
I'm not familiar with those.
You know what?
No, we don't know nothing about those. Nothing at all.
No, you calling somebody out. We do that at 8 o'clock. It's called the throw out. Yeah, because that got to go.
So I think you bring up an important issue. The question ultimately was, or the initial question was, why is it so easy for men to leave a relationship? And let everybody know that it is not easy to leave a relationship. If it's somebody you care about, you just can't seem to get along, or in some cases you might not like the person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You may still love them. It's still difficult to leave that relationship. It's difficult to change your situation and your circumstance and your environment. It's difficult to leave people that you love. In most cases, you're not just leaving the person; you're leaving their family, and and if there are kids involved, you may be leaving the kids as well. I don't think that's easy for anybody. If it is easy, the answer is that they left a long time ago.
I totally agree with you.
And you just getting to see the manifestation of it.
You're getting the backside completely of it.
Yeah.
And also,
So my thing is, if you checked out a long time ago, why wait so long? Just leave.
But listen, you would know that, so maybe you should just tell him to leave, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be obvious that he checked out, and to much degree, you probably would have already checked out too.
As well.
Right? Because you no longer will be fighting for the relationship. He's not fighting for a relationship. And at some point, both of you will begin to realize that, hey, we're just spinning our wheels. There's nothing here. It's not going down. We're not going to be happy. We're not going to be able to overcome the nonsense that happened yesterday and last year, etc. So let's just move on. And maybe we can start anew and find somebody, more like-minded, closer to us. And, the grass is never greener on the other side.
No.
The problems that you face in your relationship right now are going to be pretty much the same problems that you face in the next relationship. It may have a little twist to it, but ultimately we got to stop running from ourselves. And so, what you're running from ultimately is yourself. There may be something you need to say in your house, or you need to do in your household, or with your family, or your spouse, or significant other, and that's what's going to heal the relationship. I'm encouraging, I think what this conversation has done for me is to challenge everyone in a relationship to fight for it. Fight for it. When you think there's absolutely no more hope, but you know that person has a good heart, you know that they are worthy of having your heart and being in your life, go out of the box and fight for it. Fight for it like it is the last day on earth. And just see what happens. Because at that point, you have nothing to lose, right?
All right.
You have nothing to lose.
Well, you have a whole lot to gain.
You have everything to gain, but it takes extreme and complete vulnerability to do that. You got to put yourself out there on front row,
There you go.
and everybody's gonna see it. And if you get rejected, that may hurt you worse than anything. But you got to go into it, full speed ahead, or otherwise, you're gonna put all those years that you spent with that person in a kennel. So just to be put the fire in flames and burn it up.
And I like to say, if you analyze your relationship often, you probably won't go as many years as you're going. That fight will happen earlier than later.
Right.
A lot of times we get stagnant and we just limp along, and then all of a sudden when somebody's showing signs that they want to leave, that's when you want to start fighting. But half the time they're so checked out, the fight ain't a fight. They already done. So my whole thing is, before that person gives up, you have to be willing to show up.
Right.
Because you showed up to get it.
Right.
And then you got, I like to say, stagnant. But you got to also wake up and regain.
Yeah.
Before it's too late. And a lot of times, we don't know it's too late until she gives that conversation. Like my daughter said, I'm going to let you know I ain't happy.
Well, or you come home and the closet's empty.
By that time,
Right.
it's starting to get too late.
Yeah. Let me just plant this seed. We got 1 minute before we go to break. Counseling is a good thing.
There you go.
And couples and married couples and potentially married couples are run from counseling, and it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing to give an expert the opportunity to show you how to heal your relationship and to guide you into saying those things that need to be said. Those conversations, those are deep. Can be some very deep dialogues with a trained third party. You don't want mama listening to the conversation. You're supposed to let your pastor listen, but if you and your husband have been going to that church for years, that pastor may not be the right person to counsel you. It needs to be somebody objectively who can see from 40,000 feet and be able to help you along the way. So, what a great dialogue. I appreciate that. Miss J, right?
Yeah, this Miss J.
Miss J, I really appreciate you being with us tonight. Any parting words for us?
I just say everybody need to be themselves and love who you are. You can only love you.
Yeah.
Because I love myself.
Yeah. And we love you too.
And like I said,
yeah.
I love her too.
Yeah, of course you love her.
One of the things I will always say is, again, great dialogue. One of the things that we really need to look at, and I hope we can go to the table and start addressing some of the issues, because again, like you said, so easy to walk away. I like what you said. It's not really easy.
It's not easy.
That person already checked out.
Right.
So if you really evaluate, you might be able to find some of this stuff early on, and we won't waste so much time, because you cannot get that back.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you, baby girl. Go ahead and attend to them kids.
Y'all so welcome. Call me again anytime.
Yeah, don't burn that food.
Hey, listen, what you cooking tonight?
Get off the phone, baby. Get off the phone.
I love me some home cooked food.
Aircraft, man.
Okay.
Don't have that look. I see it in y'all, buddy.
You see me?
All I can tell you,
Yeah.
rock didn't go well. I ain't getting nothing. Nothing. I ain't getting not one inquiry.
See, Jay tried to give away rock last week.
Hold
along with
on. Say it right now.
What's
I
that?
tried to give away a bedroom set.
A bedroom
I tried to
set.
give him a deal. And to
Along
make
with
the
the
deal
son.
sweet, I said, if you get them right then, that week,
Right.
I was going to enhance it. The booty back to a flat screen. I sure was. I was giving you something. Now remember, he came with good loans. He got my last name. He came from the Hawkerbrooks.
Right.
You can look that up.
Right.
The man came good loans, but he ain't go well. He ain't go well. All right, so I tell you what, Barbara, got a son, MJ.
Okay.
He on the jogging block tonight. No,
Oh, my
MJ comes
goodness.
with 2 little ones.
I sure hate it for
Him
you,
got
MJ.
he got some crumb snatchers.
You got 2 kids?
He got 2 kids.
Okay.
Now,
Young kids, I take it.
yeah, he got young.
Okay.
Okay. He ain't got no girlfriend. If you do, once this other person email, she gone.
Okay.
But he ain't got no girlfriend.
Okay.
And 21 years old.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
He comes from good lawns again.
Yeah.
Down there in Macon, Georgia.
Living at home?
Living at home.
21?
That's why he gotta go.
That's the edge, right?
It's right there on the edge.
Yeah, it's right
I
on the
think
edge.
he right there at that point where you can't really be totally mad and he feeling himself. He's good. Okay? So he gonna be good for somebody. And guess what?
What?
He comes with a bedroom set. Barbara said she throwing in the bedroom set and also the 60-inch flat screen.
Right.
That's right. How many times you can get a deal like this? Only on Bar Talk with Jay.
Oh,
I'm telling you right.
goodness.
Throw out Thursday. What better way to get your child out that house?
Folks, I hope you're not learning to
I
throw
hope-
away your child.
It ain't throwing away. It's throw out Thursday because he got to leave that nest. But guess
He
what?
gots to go.
For a person that's getting them, we're about to give them a deal.
Right.
The deal is you get a bedroom set,
Right.
a 60-inch TV.
Right.
Take what Barbara said, if he goes today
Right.
or tomorrow, she'll throw a living room set in with him.
What?
That's the deal of a
A
lifetime.
bedroom
We
set,
trying
a
to make
living
it.
room set.
You can't get no better than it. For a good young man,
Okay.
got 2 little ones,
Okay.
that he's doing what he works.
He works.
He handles his business.
Okay.
So again, you're not just getting somebody that got bad. I said they all got good loans. We just trying to push them in a positive direction. So we just need some people to email. And again, Bar Talk with Jay.
I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
If I was
at
him,
.com.
if I was him, I'd be mad right now.
He might be. He gonna get over it.
Yeah. If I was
You know,
him, I'd be
Bar Talk with
upset.
Jay. We unfortunately I get some negative thoughts
Matter
on.
of fact, I become trying to find Jay.
I'm not
You
hard
gonna
to
mess
find.
up my good lawn.
I ain't messing up your good lawn. You messing it up by staying at home. I'm just saying,
Okay.
you might be overstaying your welcome.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do is, there's a lot of people out there don't know how to encourage their child to go.
Okay.
I'm trying to do a game show to make it a little easier. But you gotta give something up, okay? You just can't put a child out. I feel like that's just wrong.
Right,
And
that
again,
is.
I'm doing men, not girls, because I really feel different about young ladies.
Women can stay home.
Right, I really feel like we
25,
want to
30.
make sure they don't fall into hands of a person that might do them wrong.
Right.
So a man can handle these situations a lot better.
So you're suggesting that if your young man is not falling into manhood,
Mhm.
push him.
And I'm the one to help push him. I'm
Okay.
trying to push him.
Push.
So guess what?
That's good stuff, Jay.
Why not? Because again, how we're trying to help the young lady is they get gifts. Okay, so not only just receiving a young man that might be the potential husband, they get gifts.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
For accepting
You're
the
so
challenge.
right for that, Yeah.
You can say what you want, but he's still around, crap.
Right.
What I'm trying to do is trying to find good people to get with each other, because you go on these matchmaker type sites. Guess what? We got a little game show going on right here, and we're trying to help out the ones. Think about if you just got an apartment right now, you ain't got a bed in it. I can hook you up with a man and a bed. You can't beat that thing. Okay?
Crazy.
And then you look at Barbara giving up a 60-inch TV. That won't even have to go in the bedroom. That go to the living room. You can't beat these deals.
Right.
And then she said she'll give you furniture for the living room. I don't know
For
where
the
she get it
living
from.
room.
She's saying he got to go. She's serious about it. She's saying she giving up several bedroom, living room. Listen, and he's a good guy. I met him myself. Good guy, fun loving, takes care of his kids, responsible. Like I said, comes
That's
from
the
good
guy you
homes.
don't want to get rid of. That's the guy who helped keep the yards cut and
Well,
clean the house.
but the mama do. The mama want them gone. Okay.
Okay.
And
Big Mama needs some
and
privacy.
I'm here to help out the people that don't know how to make your child leave the house. You don't gotta call Popo.
Right.
You call Bar Talk with Jake. We gonna put him on an oxygen box. He got to go. But you gotta give some good stuff behind him. We just ain't gonna push him out there on I-75. No, we
Right.
don't do that.
Okay.
Okay. He coming with some stuff.
Well, maybe a timeline and a talk every week. And then he'll decide to just go himself.
Okay.
Maybe he'll start looking.
Okay.
But man, that's kind of harsh, Jay. Man.
Okay. It might be a little harsh.
It is, man.
But when
I'm
you
telling
taking care of it, I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
it don't seem harsh no more. It's like what my daughter was saying. how can you just turn on somebody? I turned a long time ago. Now, I need him to understand that he got to be a man away from a man.
Right.
Two men, we collide.
Right.
So I want him to be the man that he's born to be.
Okay.
And a lot of times I shelter him and he can't grow underneath me. I want him to spread his wings and he ain't flying, bro, he walking.
Right.
He need to understand he can soar.
Maybe he needs some help.
He might, but
He
guess
needs
what?
some help getting out. He needs some help with the steps and putting a plan in place.
Okay.
And
You
getting
work
focused
on
in.
him when he find his girl, okay? And they move in their place. I need you to go over there and,
Well,
I'm gonna throw in Craftmatic with my son. I can't do it with MJ right now because MJ seems like he's well put together. But since he brought up some points about mine, Craftmatic goes with Rock with some counseling to help him fly, y'all. You can't beat that. So you get a bedroom set, a booty bag, and Craftmatic as a guidance counselor. Yes!
Oh my God.
Now, if y'all don't get that deal right there, I got the MJ deal next, okay? MJ deal don't come with Kraft, but it comes with a 60-inch TV, okay? And if you get it this week, you get a whole dining room set. No, it's the living room. Maybe, I'm pretty sure she'll do both. She don't care. She want go.
She want to
No,
go.
it's the living room. It's the living room set with MJ. He don't come with as much, but I tell you what, he is efficient. He's good to go.
Okay.
So again, ladies, if you're inquiring, please email me, and again, I'll be able to give you more information and pictures. I didn't want to throw their pictures out there on Front Street, but
That would be really harsh.
well, it would be, but I wasn't totally cold. But I am done.
Right. Sounds like
Fly the nest.
you're done, Jay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. It sounds
Sometimes
like
you gotta do it, Kraft.
Yeah.
I know you didn't do it to yours, but I'm doing it to mine.
Right.
And I'm gonna do it to other people's as well.
Okay.
Come on in and talk to me, and I'll be able to do yours next. I'm just saying. I got a slot open for next week. Hit me quick because I got Thanksgiving after that. I don't want to do nothing for Thanksgiving. I want to catch somebody before Christmas. Come on now. It's an auction and block.
Yeah.
Let's get them going.
My God. My
Come on.
God.
We hold on to them too long, Kraft. I think
know,
this
man.
is the problem
Man,
these
your
days.
great grandma be turning over in the grave right
Why?
now, man. Putting
The-
them babies out in the street
We,
like
put,
that,
we ain't
man.
just putting them in the street. We put them with furniture and knowledge.
That's just-
I ain't even sending them with you. You
That's-
can't beat that.
That's just horrible.
Man, I'm giving them free counseling and you saying that's horrible?
That is not a good parenting
Nobody
attitude
told you I was a
right
good
there,
parent in the first place. I wasn't wrong. He's still here.
My
Somewhere wrong. But I tell you what, we can fix it, but not ignoring it. See, there you go. Empower yourself to recognize
Okay.
the things that goes on. So one of the things I want to do, and again, why I came up with this is one of the things that really encouraged me was a young lady in my life.
Okay.
Because when I was running around with my friends, you know, I was really a knucklehead and I was just doing crazy young man things.
Okay.
But when I got with a young lady that seen something in me, because she fought for me, so she seen something in me early on. She helped me realize that she was there for me and she seen something in me. So when my boys wanted to have that, yo, let's go out and have that, I knew my girl wanted me to be with her. And what made me realize that it's better to be with her than them is when she showed me that I love you for you. My boys couldn't really do that. My boys is gonna always be my boys. They got love for me. But when you got a woman to see in you, and she show you the love that she has for you, it can help change you. So that's where it started the pouring out, is when somebody poured in. And that's what got my life a little bit different. I can't say that's gonna work the same for my child. Everybody's different. But my child's going in and out, and he's flip-flopping, and he ain't making the best decisions, and he's open to anybody, you know, because one thing, he's a fun-loving guy.
Right.
But if I can find the right person, when I tell you he'll soar, his wings will be bigger than mine. Because he comes from me. He's just not me. He's his own person. And he got to find his way to fly.
Yeah.
Because right now underneath me, he don't need to put my wings already out.
Right.
He's going underneath my wing. But guess what? He can make his own.
Okay.
So
I
this
agree.
is what we're doing, is to shift it, but they can understand it ain't like we gave up or we don't care. We're doing it game show style
Right.
to make them understand.
Right.
We ain't just pushing them out. We're giving them away with gifts to a person that might need and understand what they're getting. Now that is going to take a little bit of time, and I understand he ain't going to be done right away. because I want him to find somebody that would really take him to that next level. And that's going to take some time, and I understand it's a game show, but guess what? You're getting somebody that has greatness in them. It just got to be shaking and waking up.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Somebody shake and wake it up out of me.
Right.
So I want to shake it up. Shake it, baby. Shake him. Shake him hard.
Shake him.
Just don't shake the baby, but shake him.
Right.
Shake him. He can take it. He can take it. He got strong back. Shake him. Don't break him, and don't bring him back. That's another thing. If you take the bedroom suit, you take the booty back. Don't you even think about coming back, knocking on my doorstep. I bring it to you. I'm delivering it. Crab is coming behind me for counseling. You getting a whole lot for nothing. And you think about bringing them back. I got problems.
Right.
I'm just saying that.
Right.
Whatever. And that goes the same with MJ. When he go, he ain't coming back. Barbara already said it.
He's out.
Done deal. Done deal.
Okay.
Once you leave that nest,
A new lesson in parenting this week. Throw them out.
nah, it's not like that, Crab.
No, Jay, no, that you know what I'm saying. I understand how you saying it. That's and that's good. That's good. You gotta push people to their potential, especially these young
He's
folks.
still here, Crab.
I know he's still here, Jay. I know.
That's not good. We need y'all help. So again, it's a game show, but we need some participation here. Get him out. Nisi,
Yes,
he's still here.
sorry.
Yeah, even she's sorry. Even the family said, oh Lord. All right, we're going to go to break. And again, we got Jeffrey up next. Again, he couldn't make it in on his regular hour. He had to change it up, but that's the one thing we do. We move things around, but we make things happen. Smooth Crabmatic, yeah. Put that little song down. That's my man, boy.
That's hot right there, boy.
You
That's
can't-
that Donnell Jones.
I see that. But guess what? We got Smooth Jeffrey on the phone. Jeffrey,
Brother Jay, what's going on with you?
man, we
What's
can't
going
call
on?
it. We can't call it, man. How you doing, brother? Jeffrey.
Right?
Doing well, Brother Crab. How you pulling it, man?
Man, I'm doing good, bruh. I'm doing good. Just
You have reached the maximum time permitted to record. To send your message,
Let me
press
see
1
here.
at any time.
I see
To
we got some
listen to your
technical
message, press
difficulties.
2. To re-record, press 3. For more options, press 4.
I don't know how
To
that
cancel,
came.
press star.
To end this call.
Yes.
And so how you doing tonight, Brother Jeffrey?
To send your message, press 1 at any time. To listen to your
Hold on,
message,
Jerry.
press 2. To re-record, press 3. For more options, press 4. To cancel, press star.
Jeffrey must be ready to put something on fire tonight,
I
boy.
see.
See how the enemy come
To
in?
send your message, press 1 at any time.
That's all right.
To listen to your message, press 2.
He gonna put it
To
down
re-record, press 3.
as he usually
For
do.
more options, press 4. To cancel, press
I'm getting him.
That's all right. We get him back here in a minute. Jeffrey always goes so hard, folks. And so if this is your first time listening tonight, you're going to get inspired and you're going to hear some healing and some motivating words from Brother Jeffrey. He is one of those people that just knows how to put the words in order so that you can understand it, buy into it, and use it for your life. Every week, almost every week, I feel convicted by this brother because he just brings it so real, and he brings it to a place where you don't have to wonder what he's saying. That's the kind of inspiration we need. So you with us, Jeffrey?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm back with you.
Okay, man. Okay, how you doing tonight, bro?
Oh, man, today was one of those 12-hour days, 8 o'clock in and 8 o'clock out. You know how it is, but you know what time it is.
Yes, sir.
Brother Jay, Brother Kraft, it's time for you to close your mouth and listen. You asked me some questions. I give you some answers from a man's point of view.
Okay.
Now, I got one reason for the habitually single woman and one reason for the habitually single man as to why they're single, but here is my disclaimer.
Okay.
Now, what I'm going to say might not apply to you. If it doesn't apply to you, I don't want you to put your foot up in this shoe.
Mm-hmm.
But if it does apply to you, I want you to put both feet in both shoes and walk around in them because you're going to learn something tonight. Now, ladies, as always, you are first.
Okay.
Now, ladies, you might be single because, quite frankly, your love muscle is weak. Your love muscle is weak, ladies. I need you to understand me now. I'm going to say it in a different way. See, ladies, you've forgotten how to be sensual. You've forgotten how to be seductive. You've forgotten how to influence a man with the power of your femininity. Ladies, you have forgotten that it's not what's in between your legs that gets us. What it is how you entice us with your femininity. What you do right now, you act like a dude that's feminine, or that's a woman. That's how you act. You come with a brutish type of sense of enticement. You want to do this or not? Are we going to do this or not? You sound like a dude asking for something from a woman. I want you to understand something, ladies. That love muscle is what powers us.
Yes.
That love muscle is what inspires us.
Yes.
That love muscle fuels us and sustains us in ways that sustenance such as food and water cannot do.
Right.
But your love muscle is weak. And since your love muscle is weak, you don't know how to pull us in. You don't know how to attract us in that way that makes us want to stay, makes us want to go, come home, straight home from work.
Right.
You don't have that because that love muscle is weak. As long as that love muscle is weak, ladies, what you're going to discover is you're going to end up playing by yourself single.
And for a very
Long time.
Hey, look, I can't stand a weak love muscle, man. You know, it's always, I don't know, it feels so fake, it feels so, it don't feel real, man, unless you're getting real love. I guess I like genuine people. And I have we've all, as men, we met a lot of women, man, who just don't express much emotion anymore. They become like dudes sometimes, So, man, I'm on that ship with you, Jeffrey. I understand that completely.
Jeffrey, man, you slapping the taste out of folks' mouth.
I'm scared. I'm scared of when you get to us, though.
Man,
Right?
I'm like, no sympathy right there, Jeffrey. But again, you hitting home. I mean, you came in the 8 o'clock hour. I'm glad you did it on the 8 o'clock hour because, man, I don't think they could have took this.
Downhill from here. Huh?
What?
All right, Jeffrey, keep it rocking, baby.
All right, fellas, don't think I'm letting you off the hook, brothers. You are next. Fellas, you might be single because, quite simply, you are a lazy dater. I mean, a lazy dater in the sense that you only know how to Netflix and chill. You only know how to say you want to do something or nah. You want to get together? What you want to do? You free on Friday? Can we get together? That's all you know how to do. You don't know how to woo a woman. You don't know how to court a woman. You don't know how to plan a date through conversation by speaking to that woman more than one time or just through text. You have no clue what she likes. You have no clue what would turn her on. You have no way to get through the cookie because you don't know how to entice the cookie to warm up. You'd be warm cookies up. Warm cookies is good. You don't know any of that stuff because you are a lazy dater.
Right.
You're used to sitting back and having women coming to you, and when they come to you, what they end up leaving with is an empty bag of promises because you have nothing for them to cleave to. There's nothing that she can begin to stick to because all you know how to do is Netflix and chill.
Right.
So I want you to understand something, fellas. Netflix doesn't cost that much a month.
Okay.
It's real easy to subscribe to Netflix. But your true investment is in a true woman that'll stick with you through thick and thin.
Right.
But if you can't court that woman, if you can't date that woman, if you don't have any way of building a base with that woman, well, that woman will leave your ass single.
Absolutely. Hey, listen, chivalry is not dead. I don't want anybody to believe that chivalry is dead because that's how you get a woman, man, is you gotta court her, right? And I don't feel convicted by this one at all. I don't consider myself a lazy dater. I believe in wooing and courting and, and putting the energy in and spending the money and making the time. I think all of those are very important. And I want my daughter and all the women in my life, my aunties and my cousins, I want them to understand that if you are dating a lazy dater, you need to either speak up and let them know or go ahead and turn the other route because you may be missing somebody who know how to date you and know how to pour into you rather than spending time with somebody who just Netflix and chill. Netflix and chill is easy to recognize, folks. Hey, let's get together, let's order some food, and before the movie go off, we're going to be touching one another. Right?
All I can say is I ain't a lazy dater, but I'm celibate. I sell a little bit here, sell a little bit there. really don't get into, I'm just saying, I got problems.
Right.
But Jeffrey, you definitely it don't really fit me because again, I never really lazy dated. I really believe in getting into a person. I always believe in stimulating the mind.
Yeah.
Getting into the pants without the mind, I like to say the shortcoming is just going the other way. If you go into the pants before the mind, you don't even know what you get.
Right.
So I got into the mind and realized it's not worth getting into the pants.
Right.
So to me, mental stimulation goes so far.
Absolutely.
But everybody got it so easy now. But again, go back to what helps sustain you, and that's that conversation and that mental.
There it is, man. There it is, man.
So I got you there. Oh, but go ahead, Jeffrey. What you got for the both of us? I know you got something there, player.
All right, now listen, man. Men and women, we got to get on the same page. We got to get back to our roots.
Yes.
Now, getting back to our roots acknowledges that, we got different branches that extend in different directions, and our leaves may look similar, but they might be different when you get, a closer look at them. The thing is, we just got to get back to our roots. When we get back to our roots, what we actually recognize is that we're all connected. When we realize that we're all connected, we begin to realize that we're not two trees, we're one tree, just different branches.
Yes.
And when you got one tree with a real deep root system, it's impossible, it's nearly impossible for a strong wind to blow it over. It takes something that's hurricane strength to uproot that tree.
Right.
It takes a year of drought to make those roots begin to extend closer to the surface.
Yes.
It takes an act of God to blow down a tree with a strong root system.
Yes.
And I believe right now we're so used to being our own separate tree with our own set of branches that we've gotten away from this. We got to remember that in the end, we are not separate trees. We are one tree
Right.
with a massive root system.
Right.
And the minute we get back to fertilizing that one root system, it's going to be some powerful things that happen in our community.
Yes.
So when we get to those powerful things, it don't matter what anybody else does. It don't matter how they march. It don't matter what the little tiki torches they walk with. None of that stuff matters because it does affect our root system.
Yes, sir.
And that's all I got.
Yes, sir. And that's enough said.
What?
Man, I'm telling you, what comes to my mind is that if I could be friends with every woman I tried to date, right? I don't need to hurt her. I need to push her down. I need to talk about it. I need to support her, and know that we still are coming from the same root system, right? We still gotta love these women, whether they are our loved ones or not, right? He talked about getting men and women getting on the same page, and being able to connect with one another and being able to nurture one another, even past and beyond just the simple things in life. We have to. We gotta stand in the gap for one another rather than always pushing each other aside and pushing each other down. Getting on the same page, man, is a powerful idea.
I 100% agree. Getting on the same page has always been necessary. But again, I like to say that we're getting in a time and an age that we just are not showing the love and care.
Why is that, man? Why are we not showing the love and care? What is keeping us from getting on the same page? Any insight there, Jeffrey?
Oh, absolutely, man. The biggest thing is people will focus on the problem and not focus on the solution. The solution is the key. The problem's always going to be there. The problem ain't going nowhere until you change your focus. The minute you start focusing on the solution, the problem becomes small.
Right.
The smaller the problem is, the more digestible it is. So you can take that problem that you thought was large, it becomes small now that you're focusing on the solution, and you can move forward to the next step. And that's what it is. So when life is going to punch you all the time, life is going to hit you in the mouth all the time.
Right.
The thing is, you take those punches and you get right back up, and you punch back. And then when you punch back, what life does, it says, okay, you done got tough on me. I'm going to give you some joy now because you're tough.
Right.
I'm going to give you some joy because you're tough. So the minute you toughen up, you take those punches and you begin to punch back, life shifts what it gives you. But as long as you're dwelling on the problem, you're not really working towards anything because you're scared of the problem, life's going to keep throwing problems at you because all you're doing is getting hit. You're not bobbing and weaving. You're not counterpunching.
Right.
You're just getting hit.
Right. There it is, man.
And that's what we call TKO.
Yes.
That's how you get knocked out.
That's how you get knocked out.
All day.
And man, did you do that one justice? Because that is, that is the issue. I mean, when we have obstacles, you got to turn away from the obstacle and find some gratitude and some understanding about what the solution is going to look like. And we're going to spend a great deal of our show tonight talking about that, the remainder of the show actually talking about that. So thank you so much, Jeffrey, for all that you do, man. Any parting comments for us tonight?
Oh, brothers, I tell you what, man, my mother had a little bit of a scare tonight, so I'm going to need you fellas to send some extra prayers up. Everything is fine, but she's 82, so anything that happens, it always puts me on the edge, man, and there's nothing like your mama.
Yeah.
So, I just ask that you brothers, when you say your prayers, you think about my mother, man, and just send one up for her, and that's it.
Oh, definitely.
Absolutely, man. That is done data, and
Done.
we'll be all over that. So thank you again, Jeffrey, for being with us, man, and we'll look to talk with you next week.
All right, looking forward to it, fellas.
Okay. All right. That is the good Reverend Dr. Jeffrey in the house, putting it down as he do, and it is break time for us. We got about a half an hour or so after this break to go in on the next topic. So on the topic of the night. So y'all stay with us again. I'm Craftmatic.
And it's Smooth J over here, and we gonna go in on this one. I think Jeffrey did a great job.
Yeah.
We gotta have some more fun with this one.
Yeah. This is gonna be a major one. So y'all stay with us. We'll be right back.
Oh, yes, and we back with Bar Talk with Jay. Lord have mercy, Crab, you in love tonight, ain't you?
Huh?
I'm just saying, Smooth Crab, man.
Hey, man.
Macaroni and
It's all
cheese.
about that. Our audience is talk radio. They're just sitting down chilling. You play dance music in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? But I do whatever you want to do, Jay. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, hey,
It's
bro.
one of my favorites.
I like
Some radio
your groove
favorites.
is our move.
Okay.
I like
Okay.
how you flow, so let's go with what you know.
Okay.
We ain't mad at you.
Not at all.
So again, how are we gonna advance with all these things that's going up against us?
It seems like so many things are going against us. It seems like, I don't know, if you just look at the world in general, you will see, the economic system kind of against us.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the educational system kind of against us.
Mm-hmm.
We got some race stuff working, against us. We're losing, as a society, we're losing our ability to communicate because we're spending so much time in this technology. The humanness of life seems to just be fading away from our world a little bit. There are a lot of obstacles, Jay.
Yes, but I like to say one of the key things is what Jeffrey said is when you have a problem and you just focus there, life still goes on. Okay?
Absolutely.
And that's why that problem seems so big. When you start looking at the solution, and it takes away from looking at the problem, and it shifts.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And that mental shifts will help make you grow because you didn't know to do that before.
Okay.
So a lot of times people be like, how do you do it? Well, you have to do something different than what you've been doing.
Right.
And that's not easy. And that's why we mentioned counseling for some people, and again, if someone's not comfortable with it, finding somebody that know you and can comfortably communicate with you to a way that you can understand them, to look at how you evaluate yourself. Because again, without somebody kind of guiding you, you tend to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And we just want you to look at things a little bit differently if we want something to be a better outcome.
Right.
And that's what we're working on. And I promise you, I do it right now at the age of 48. Yeah, I'm happy to say that, 48. Yeah, I just turned that 48.
Where you
That's that ain't that old. Wake up a little step back here, but I ain't that old yet.
Right.
But one of the things I really appreciate is being able to be around like-minded people, but strong-minded people.
Okay.
Okay? Because before, I was just around a lot of people.
Right.
When you get around people that's like-minded or strong-minded, and I say that because if you want to develop to something greater, it's not always in the same, it's indifferent.
Okay.
And when you get to somebody that's on a higher level, and you start being around them, they start exposing you. That exposure is like a learning tool.
Yes.
And it opens your mind up to something different. And that definitely can help you. So when you're around that and that exposure just makes your life seem so much different because you start looking at problems differently.
Right.
So now you have more ways to come up with a solution. So you're not scared of it, but you have more tools to use. Do not be scared to look for help. Okay?
Absolutely, Jay.
When I started this project, I reached out to Kraft, and then me and Kraft reached out to others. Since we started this show, we had so many people be on our staff.
Yeah.
It's quite large. And again, everybody gave a very helping hand. And everything that they added was valuable.
Right.
And I say gratitude to each and every one because I needed that. Because now I have a producer that's sitting behind the camera. Now, when you see the movie, and the movie's coming, okay? The movie like, yeah, he's doing this big time. He don't even want to say too much. He's one of them guys behind the scene, but he can make these things happen for you. So that's going to drop tomorrow, all right? That's Friday. And one of the things I want to tell you about encouraging and believing in is once you believe in yourself, you start believing back in others.
Absolutely.
So when you want to know why things happen the way they do, we stop loving ourselves. We don't trust others. And it's like epidemic.
Right.
All right? I want to break the epidemic by going back to loving us first.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
That's going to get back to your spiritual. That's going to get back to your core base. And then you can start looking at other people and you can evaluate them differently and better.
Right.
And that way you don't make the same mistakes and you're not judging somebody by the past mistakes. That's another, I like to say I like to say a bad way of looking at life. When you judge somebody by somebody else's bad behavior
Right.
and you put it on somebody else, that's all bad.
Okay.
So guess what? When you get healed right and you start looking at other people, you won't judge them.
Right.
You will actually understand them. And you will judge them by them, not by others.
Absolutely.
And that gives them a fair chance.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times when you hurt, you tend to hurt. But when you get past the hurt, you tend to heal.
Right.
And that's something
that's
that don't always
outstanding.
happen.
Yeah, that's outstanding, Jay. I'd like to again start out kind of elementary, just in an effort to help build this dialogue. There's three types. The website that I looked at, they said that obstacles come in three different flavors. Right.
Bass and Robin, they got 31.
Right.
I like that.
There's three types of obstacles. There's external, there's internal, and there's habitual obstacles. Okay. External obstacles. These are obstacles outside of your control, right? Such as economy, natural disasters, physical limitations, and political climate, etc., etc. Internal obstacles. These are obstacles, generally one-time issues, but you have direct control over them. Such as debt, cash flow, time availability, needed skills or talents in order to achieve the goal. Okay? And thirdly, habitual obstacles. These are obstacles that reflect on how people get in their own way. They can be removed by behavioral changes. Okay? Now, I'm of the notion that every obstacle is about self. It's about how you understand the obstacle, how you see it. It's about facing those things that are seemingly against you, or that are holding you back from your goal or from the objective. And obstacles are going to be a constant. That's just a way of life, that there's always going to be a challenge, there's always going to be a problem, there's always going to be an obstacle. And in fact, I think a part of our mission in life is to become extreme problem solvers. Right? We have to always learn how to solve problems. And there's the problems that we are typically dealing with are how people talk to us and treat us. Not having enough money, or maybe not earning enough money to be able to send your kids to college, or to buy that new house or fix your car. You know, those are all real obstacles. But what's most important is how you deal with it on the inside. And as Jeffrey said, I think Jeffrey, oh man, he always puts it on, right? He says if you focus on the problem too much, then you can't see the solution. And so what you have to do, in whatever way that you do it, and we'll talk about a few techniques here in a minute, but you have to become bigger than the problem. You have to become, if you don't become bigger than the problem, then you can't see beyond the problem. And so now what we're talking about is being consumed by the things you face. You can never be consumed by the things you face. And and sometimes you created those problems. You created those issues, those obstacles. We just talked about habit obstacles, habitual obstacles. Going out too much and you're a married man is a problem. And it creates obstacles. And
being single too. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, going out too much. Yeah, going out too much, period.
That dating. I'm just telling you, dating ain't cheap.
Yeah, no,
Just
it ain't
saying.
cheap.
Just helping you out.
So how do you fix that, Jay?
Sell a little bit.
Sell a bit.
Yeah, sell a little bit.
Right.
Sell a bit. Either keep it to yourself or sell a little bit. That's the best way I can tell you to get past that.
Right. So it just requires folks taking a step back and realizing that whatever you're facing, other people have faced it before, and other people have overcome it before, and you will face it and you will overcome it. You see, it's all about attitude. Notice those 4 sentences in and of themselves is just what I said to myself. It's not about what I did. It's not necessarily about where I'm going and what I'm going to do. It's about how I change my own mind as it relates to the problem or the obstacle. You've got to change your mind. I talked in several shows over the last year that we have to resolve problems and issues in our mind first before it'll ever come to the surface of our life and manifest into our affairs. It requires a renewing of the mind first and foremost. And once the mind is renewed, the rest of it is a piece of cake. You ever procrastinated on something?
All the time.
And you might have procrastinated, the project or the thing that needs to take place is a 3-month project or 6-month project. And you wait till the very last week, right? And all the while, what you're doing is you're stressing and you're worried and you're doubting and you're not willing to make the hard decisions that need to be made. You're running from all of that. That at a certain point in time, you change your mind. And if it's the last hour or the last week, you say, you know what? I ain't got no more time to waste. I'm going to go and get this thing done. And I'm going to set aside Wednesday afternoon from 3 to 5. I'm going to get it done. And I'm not going to quit until it's finished. It took the pressure of the situation. It took the timeline to make you change. And so one of the things that you can do in order to deal with obstacles of life is set a timeline to overcome it. Set a timeline to defeat the issue that is before you, right? And I'm not suggesting that these things are necessarily easy, but the part that I'm talking about right now is simply changing your mind. It doesn't mean that you have the skill set or the knowledge or the money or the tools or the resources or the support to go and get it done. It's saying you got to change your mind now so that when that person comes in your sphere of influence who can help you, you'll have the confidence to ask for that help. You'll have the willingness to let knowledge and wisdom and other people's resources come into your world, right? So it's about strengthening oneself. Set a timeline, okay? That's one of the ways to overcome obstacles, okay? I'm a big proponent, Jay, of clean sheet of paper. And
I like that one.
Yeah, and let me tell you, this is one of my favorite exercises with clean sheet of paper. And I'm just going to instruct it rather than just tell you about it. Let's say you got a clean sheet of paper in front of you. Okay? I want you to draw a line from top to bottom down the center of that page. Okay? And on the left side, I want you to say now. Just write the word now at the top of the page on the left side. And on the right side of the page, I want you to write tomorrow.
It's not promised.
Or next week or future, right? You know, that's an interesting comment, Jay. I had a discussion with someone this week about tomorrow's not promised.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though we know that tomorrow, this is a sidebar, right?
Right.
Even though we know tomorrow is not promised, we cannot live like it is not,
That's better than that.
right? If you live like tomorrow is not promised, then you're never reaching for any more life. You're never reaching for any more success. So we have to get laser focused on what we want to achieve tomorrow, even though it's not promised to us. And we gotta act like we can achieve that today. You be lounging on your laurels, right? So back to clean sheet of paper. So on the left side, I'm gonna write down what I'd like to describe as the now. So maybe right now, I'm behind on my bills. Okay? And I want you to write these words down with me, folks. I'm behind on my bills. Right now, my relationship is challenging. Okay? It's not fun anymore. Right? Right now, give me some more, Jay.
I ain't right now.
You ain't right now.
I ain't right now.
What else would you write, Jay?
Challenges. My kid.
Okay.
He's still at home.
Yeah. My kids at home.
Right there. Circle it.
Yeah. So you can see what's happening. All I'm doing is taking an assessment of really what is going on right now. Okay. On tomorrow, I want to start to think about what I would like that situation to look like when it's fixed,
Okay.
when it's healed, when it's repaired. So I'm behind in my bills. Now I'm ahead on my finances
What's the plan?
with some to spare.
Okay.
Right?
Keep going. I'm liking this.
Now here's the important part of this exercise, right? I've done this with thousands of people over my career, in my training and development years. And what happens on the right side of the chart is that you let go of the problem. You let go of the issue at hand. And you start getting laser focused on how you want to see it fixed. And once you get done with this right side, let's say you name 8 or 10 of them on there, now you can go back and express gratitude for having these things already done. Now I'm expressing gratitude before the problem is resolved. This is how we mentally attack problems and obstacles in our lives. We got to get ahead of the problem and put the problem behind us, so that at least in our mind, it's already done, it's already complete, it's already finished. I don't have to worry about it, I don't have to doubt it, I don't have to fear it. This is what's going to happen. Tomorrow I'm going to be ahead on my finances. I don't have to know how it's going to happen. I just have to be clear in my mind that it is going to happen.
Say it.
Right?
Say it.
I'm attacking my attitude and my belief system and my thought process in order to overcome hurdles in life. Because when you get enough mental strength up to overcome the problem, then the behavior will be easy. The behavior will be second nature. It's just like when you procrastinate for 6 months on a project, it only takes you an hour to get it done when you finally get laser focused on it. You see? That's what happens. Changing the mind is the key to every part of your life and every issue that you ever deal with. And it goes much more, it goes further beyond than even what I'm sharing right now, because when you bring positive thoughts in a challenging situation, it dissipates the darkness.
Right.
Your positive thoughts are like light that dissipate darkness, and our world doesn't work by flesh and blood alone. Our world works by spiritual things. And so I get a spirit of gratitude, I get a spirit of joy, I get a spirit of satisfaction, I get a spirit of healing, and that is what overcomes the obstacles. That is what overcomes the obstacles.
I like that. The reason I like it is you're able to measure your progress.
You can measure it, absolutely, Jay.
And that right there gives you the foresight for change.
Right.
Because you got to remember, Kraft, a lot of people are going through a lot of difficult times out there. And I definitely understand, because even I would go through mine. Yeah, life is not always going to be on your ups.
Right.
But guess what? You judge by it all.
Right.
So just like I got some bad days, and you call me and I'm hyped, and you can't tell, because I got to take them like any other day.
Right.
That day shouldn't make my day sound bad. Because bottom line, I'm going to go through them.
You're going to go through
And
them.
if I learn that these things happen, and I'm looking for a better day, it can't be by me dragging that day.
Right.
Okay? 'Cause
Right.
that means I gave up on tomorrow already.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And I can't give up on tomorrow. Even though it might not be promised, I'm not giving up.
Right.
Because I'm not giving up on me.
Right.
So again, it's a challenge. And that's why we're trying to do this, because we're trying to challenge our minds to do things differently. And that's what I love about this project, because this project might be one that can challenge a person to see things differently and to see the goals and successes of what they do, because their problem is not as big as what they think.
Right.
But guess what? If you start thinking about a solution, right at that moment, your problem is still there, and you be like, it ain't small. That's because you ain't focused on the solution, because
Right.
you really still focus on the problem.
That's right.
So you'll be like, well, what they said don't work. No, because you still got your mind over there.
Right.
Because if you put the energy in your problem and looking at it the way that we look at the solution, it has to get smaller because you can't focus on it.
Right.
You have to be focused over here, and laser focus over here, you're not over there.
Right.
And then you can break it down, and by the time you're done over here, it becomes smaller.
It becomes small.
Because you got multiple solutions.
You now have hope. Right? You now have hope.
And tomorrow is brighter
Right.
because it was dim with the problem.
That's exactly right.
So guess what? Get out the darkness and get into the light, baby.
There you go. There you go.
That's
Listen,
smooth.
I've always taught the idea that our thoughts create our reality.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is the problem, if that is the case, if you truly believe that somehow or another our thoughts are tied to our reality, then the obstacle or the problem that you're facing, you created it. And the very way in which you created it, the problem or the issue, you can solve it, right? But it takes first a changed mind and a changed heart first, right? And that we're ultimately always got to look at our world in a way that says there is hope. And there is not a single thing that you face, there's not a single thing that you come up against, whether it be poverty or hunger or disease or war or famine, any of those things that we face as a world and as a human race, you can't allow any of it to feel like you can't allow yourself to feel like it is controlling you and it owns your life and it is going to take you down a dark path. Because once you lose the vision of hope, you lose all your problem-solving skills. You lose your ability to face an obstacle that may be very painful, and running from it is never going to fix it, right? Absolutely, running from it is never going to fix it. Now, go ahead, Jay.
No, I was about to ask you about the running from, because a lot of people are not really in tune to what we're saying. So I want to break it down for them,
Okay.
because they saying you're running, but they ain't understanding what you mean by running. Because I know what you mean. Because I ran for mine. It's just like when we were just talking about that big job you gotta have, and you just put it off because you just don't want to take the time and the energy, and you think it's bigger than what you want to give it time for at that moment.
Right.
I've been there,
Right.
and I found out just like you. I knocked it out a lot faster than I thought I could, but I waited to a deadline.
Right.
Matter of fact, my boss called and told me, hey, I told you next week, right, for that project, I'm gonna need a little sooner. So of course pressure got put on me because I ain't started nothing. And it's like, I know you're about halfway done.
Yeah.
I'm not always truthful, y'all. I lie. I'm about didn't start it, didn't look at it, none of that.
Yeah.
Went home and I sat down, and I sat down with no faith in myself at all. I sat down pissed off, like I already lied. I ain't did nothing. And I went in it with a negative attitude. And guess what? I didn't start achieving anything at first. Then I started looking at it differently. I was like, you know something? They want it like this, but I had to break it down what I'm comfortable with. I said, well, this portion of it I already knocked out. So I went to the easy part. So when I went to the easy part, it became a block. So I took it apart and I started dissecting and I moved it up. And before I knew it, I was halfway done.
Before you knew it, you were halfway done.
And my whole thing was I had to look at it differently.
Right.
You go at most problems head on, thinking you're gonna crash through, and then you get mad when your car didn't stop. Well, guess what? Some problems are bigger than what you think you can just go through.
Right.
So stop and start evaluating. See, the biggest thing is we don't always evaluate a lot of stuff that we go on, we run from, because what? We just don't want to face it.
Absolutely. We're afraid that we can't accomplish it. That's what it is.
But that fear is just that doubt, right?
Yeah,
We don't think we got the capability, or it's gonna take too much time. Why me? Guess what? Because you're a strong individual.
Right.
Say encouraging things to yourself. Why did they give me this big task? Because you're capable, you're powerful, and you're gonna get through it.
Absolutely.
When you start thinking these ways, you start doing things in that way.
Right.
But when you start saying, man, I hate my life. Oh, I can't stand this. You're speaking negative to the universe and negative on you.
There you go.
Get that off, okay?
There you go.
And understand, they're going to put things on you that they hope you don't achieve.
Right.
Achieve them. And the reason why? Because we're strong enough, we can. But the bottom line is, once you achieve that for them, imagine what you can do for you.
Absolutely.
Because it's a booster. I don't care what nobody's saying. When I got past that task, craft, my inner spiritual was fulfilled. Where,
Absolutely.
man, you did this so quick, man. You didn't even know you could do it this way. And I'm saying this to myself, and I don't normally talk to myself like
Right,
that.
right.
You know,
But that's
now when I
what-
start talking back and I start hearing myself back and forth, I'm going to see a counselor again. But that's serious.
That's what. You changed your mind, Jay.
Big time.
You absolutely changed your mind. But and here's what I got out of that. I believe that the Lord knows that it takes pressure for us to perform. It seems like we just won't perform unless we're under pressure, and that's a problem. That's a self-discipline type issue that we all need work on. We all need help with. When the pressure's on, we will perform. We will make the hard decisions. We will spend the time necessary. We will put nonsense aside and get focused, laser focused on the things that need to be done. And it is unfortunate, but pressure will make you get it done. So I'm encouraging you to put pressure on yourself. You got to set goals. You got to set goals, and you got to have those goals in your pocket all the time.
Oh.
Write down your top 3 to 5 goals and put it in your pocket. And every time you feel yourself fading or thinking you're not going to achieve it, pull your goals out. It'll remind you of where you're going. It will remind you of why you're dealing with, maybe the challenge, the situation that you're dealing with, right? So we've talked about several things here tonight that lead to overcoming obstacles in our lives. Clean sheet of paper is a great exercise. It really means just change your mind, right? Find a way to get a positive mental attitude. We talked about setting goals, okay? The most important one, I believe, is asking for help. And you cannot be afraid to put yourself on front row. If you put yourself on front row, now you got double the manpower, so to speak. And if you're telling your parent or your brother or your cousin, your best friend, what your goal is or what your issue is and that you need help with it, you got somebody who can help you with it. They can help you with the information and the intelligence. They may be able to find some resources for you, to include money. And money might help you buy some time on your particular obstacle. So asking for help is just a smart way to go about life. I mentioned last week that if you're doing your taxes or you need a lawyer or any of those types of things, you got to go and ask for expertise. Go and recruit expertise. Those people who have been doing it 10, 20, and 30 years, you can recruit that expertise in a matter of seconds. And you don't have to relearn the issue, and you don't have to jump over the hurdles and go get the education or whatever it may take. Asking for help offers a great deal of support, love, and you no longer feel like you're alone. You almost take some of the weight off of your own shoulders when you share it with other people.
I'm gonna tell you all day long, Kraft. I just use me for example. I was out there today. I drive trucks, and I went to a property I'd never been on before.
Right.
And I just happened to see, like I said, maintenance guy that was just standing there. And I went to him and I said, I've never been on the property, and I was trying to figure out where the can is. And he said, it's on your truck. Because I had one on me.
Right.
And I said, yeah, but I'm swapping it out. Smart guy. He said, I'm going to tell you what, you would have never found it if you wouldn't have asked me.
Yeah.
Because it's not here. We moved it down the street.
Right. Right.
And I'm sitting there like, why ain't this on the paperwork? But I left it alone. I said, well, where at? Gave me, matter of fact, I followed him. Took me right to it.
Yeah.
Saved me some time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to knock it out. And the first thing he said to me, why did you even say anything to me in the first place? I said, because it was the first time I was on the property. So I'd like to introduce myself.
Right.
For you to know that's what I was here for. And
Right.
he said, well, I'm glad you did that. He said, because nobody else ever did it. So you got to be willing to be out the box
You gotta
and
be,
stay
yeah.
in the box. So
Yeah.
sometimes you want to be hard and don't want nobody to know that you're lost because you want to be the man.
Right.
Sometimes it takes the man to recognize the situation
Yeah.
and reach out to another one as
See,
well.
that's ego getting in the way, Jay.
My ego was big,
Yeah.
okay? And I got myself deflated
Right.
because it got so big, I wasn't doing nothing.
Mhm.
I stayed stagnant.
Yeah.
I grew when I realized others can help me more than I can help myself.
Yes.
And it wasn't because I had the big head and I can just do it all. It's just I was scared that if I gave them anything of me, they'd take from me,
Right.
from past.
Right.
Well, guess what? When I got healed from what others done to me, I stopped doing bad things to myself. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.